their first PC game.
Starbirds is out now in early access.
And I actually played it over on my gaming channel. It was actually pretty fun. I think I'll make a part 2 to this video, so if you want to see that, please go subscribe over on Drew Woo. That is where I post all my gaming content. So the world is ending.
Imagine, a stadium-sized asteroid is going to hit Earth in 2 weeks. Even at this moderate size, a fireball brighter than the sun tears through the atmosphere at 60 times the speed of sound. And
Bro, we're gonna be the dinosaurs all over again. It's kind of sad. We need to be worried about this because, again, yeah, like I just mentioned, that's what, you know, is credited with ending the dinosaurs, and we could very much end the same way.
Destructive power of 4,000 Hiroshima bombs flattens cities, killing millions. This isn't science fiction. Many killer asteroids were only spotted at the last moment. In 2019,
Bro, we missed it. Oh, I think he's going to talk about it right now. There's some asteroids that we miss. And, you know, I don't even really blame astronomers. Like, do you know how many random artifacts are flying around the solar system? Like, our minds cannot even fathom how many little objects are coming in and out of the solar. It doesn't even need to be just in the solar system. It could just fly on in without anyone seeing it.
Asteroid OK, as big as a 30-story building, was discovered just 1 day before it grazed Earth closer than some of our satellites.
That's
Last
crazy.
year, the even larger asteroid MK was spotted 13 days before it passed us closer than the Moon.
Bro, it's like we're like literally dodging bullets out here. Do you realize that? Now, one thing that I don't know if he's going to talk about it, but I am a little bit more optimistic. I feel like AI could possibly help us with this, possibly in the future. Maybe at a certain point, you know, they'll be able to, I don't know, the AI technology will be able to track down some of these massive objects. Remember that, like, there's a certain limit to size. Like, if we were trying to track every single meteor flying around our solar system, our heads all would collectively explode. It's just over a certain size. They call them a planet-ending sizes or planet-ending asteroids or something like that. Maybe not necessarily planet-ending, but they need to be like city-destroying at least.
If they'd have hit Earth, they would have unleashed the destructive power of 3,000 and 9,000 Hiroshima bombs. Stunningly enough, humanity doesn't really have a plan for this. Scientists have devised all kinds of tricks to push dangerous asteroids away.
Our plan is that we just kind of continue to get really, really lucky, because so far, for the last couple million years, we have been getting really, really lucky. And more than likely, well, I actually don't know. I mean, they say that there's like a planet-ending asteroid that hits us, you know, every so often. So, but where is the pacing in that? I mean, we kind of can tell where massive asteroids have hit us. You know, you can kind of figure it out on the Earth's landscape. That's how we figured out that the dinosaur-ending asteroid hit in the Yucatan Peninsula. It leaves a massive crater. But I feel like a lot of human beings are just like trusting that we continue to get lucky, but we probably need a better plan than just that.
Heating it so sunlight will deflect it, landing thrusters to steer it, scorching it with lasers, or even crashing spacecraft into it. But they all have.
So the biggest thing that they've tried to teach us, this channel, along with pretty much every science channel that I've ever come across in the last like 20 years, is that we cannot just blow these things up with a nuke. We cannot expect to just land a nuclear warhead over it and then boom, explode it. Now, that's what they say. They say that it, you know, the rocks will just splinter, and the only thing worse than one massive meteor hitting is thousands of massive meteors hitting. Because think about it, the likelihood of just one singular rock hitting a city, a large city by any chance, is actually kind of low. Remember, 2/3 of the globe is literally just water. Then you got to think population density. Even if it does hit land, it might hit in the middle of the Sahara Desert. It might hit in the Russian Siberian, you know, wildlife, wild wilderness, which there has been an asteroid that has hit somewhere out there, and luckily it was not over a huge city. So if it would have been, millions probably would have died.
A big problem. They're the equivalent of trying to deflect a cargo ship by throwing a bag of potatoes at it. They do move the asteroid, but only by a tiny bit.
I mean, honestly, like, you know, my whole discussion, my whole rant that I was going off of right now, if we could just move the asteroid enough where, like, obviously, ideally, we'll get it to avoid Earth. I mean, if it's big enough, it doesn't matter. We have to get it to avoid Earth. But if it is, for whatever reason, like just a city-ending asteroid, and we see it's about to hit someplace in, for instance, India, where over 1.4 billion people live, if we could just get that asteroid to hit somewhere in the middle of the ocean instead, somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Obviously, you do have to worry about You'd obviously have to worry about tsunamis and tidal waves and things like that. That could be an alternative problem. But at the very least, to be able to push it from hitting a mega city like New York or something like that.
With these methods, you need to act years or even decades in advance to make an asteroid miss the Earth.
And 13 days in advance is not going to be fast enough.
But very recently, scientists have developed a new, spectacular way to destroy killer asteroids that we could implement with...
Isn't it a laser? I thought I remember reading that it's like some sort of just like constant laser that will eventually, with time, be able to push it off path.
Today's technology. Let's see how this works with our 100-meter asteroid heading for Earth. The secret...
Obviously, the bigger it is, the harder it's going to be. The problem is, the bigger it is, the more we really need to move that sucker out the way. If it's not that big, if it's just city ending, well, then we can kind of figure it out. But we'll be able to move it out the way. When it's a planet-ending asteroid that's on a collision course with the Earth, that's going to be a lot harder to move, and we need to find those things a lot faster. Luckily, they're bigger, so ideally we should be able to find it out in space sooner, but who knows?
The weakness of asteroids.
The weakness of
For a long
asteroids.
time, people imagined asteroids as being gigantic stones made of rock and metal. But it turns out most of them aren't like that. They're more like bags of loosely packed gravel, heaps of pebbles, precious minerals, and dust barely held together, which means that instead of just nudging them, we can do something better: pulverize them. And the obvious choice is, of course, a nuke.
Oh, goodness.
Let's go. We load up a nuclear warhead.
Okay, so this is the part of the video where they have to teach us, no stupid humans. We can't just nuke the asteroid. It sounds fun. It sounds like a great idea, but imagine we nuke an asteroid, and then when the asteroid does, in fact, still come down on us, it's also bringing radioactive material on top of it, so we all get, you know, I don't know, cancer or something like that.
Launch, aim at our deadly asteroid, and... oh, the asteroid destroyed the nuke. Asteroids can approach Earth at 70,000 kilometers an hour,
That's so
enough to
fast.
cross the Atlantic in 5 minutes. No bomb we've ever made could survive such an impact. So,
I mean, an asteroid, if you think about it, is literally like a bullet flying in space, and we just have to pray that it doesn't hit us. Obviously, there's historical precedent that these are rare events, but they're obviously not unheard of.
if we go for a head-on collision, the asteroid will wreck the nuke before it even has a chance to explode. Okay, easy. Let's explode the bomb before it touches the asteroid. Scientists have estimated the optimal distance, which for our 100-meter killer friend would be a few tens of meters above the surface. Launch, set the timer, and... the explosion has made a dramatic crater and nothing else. Unfortunately, in space there's no air to carry a shockwave, so most of the explosion's energy is lost. The rock will still hit us in 2 weeks, only a few kilometers to the left.
But did we slow it down? Oh, that's not really going to make much of a difference if you're trying to just save a city, for instance. I'm just thinking right now, like, what are the chances that as soon as not even humans, as life forms have the ability to affect the trajectory of an asteroid, what are the chances that right now in the universe sends us a life-ending asteroid that's coming, on a collision course with our planet? I feel like the likelihood of that is way too little. Obviously we've been doing space travel since, the Soviets were doing it in the 60s and we made it to the moon, the USA, but I feel like the likelihood of all this happening is just a little bit too perfect, like right when we have the technology to be able to do this. Not to say we shouldn't be practicing in the event, because more than likely this is maybe going to happen to us, not in our lifetime, but at some point humans will maybe still be living on Earth. I don't even know about that one, but what weird chances would that be? It's almost cosmic. The chances are so low. Like right when we discover space travel, we find an asteroid that's about to hit us.
Striking such a behemoth with a nuke is like hitting our cargo ship with a washing machine instead of potatoes. Better,
Chippy McFace face? Is that what that was called?
hitting our cargo ship with a washing machine instead
McShipface. I like that. Yes, this is a great ship name.
of potatoes.
Beautiful lady name. Are you supposed to only name ships lady names?
Better, but still useless. Okay, let's go the movie route. Land someone on the asteroid, drill a hole, and bury a nuke inside to avoid all of these problems.
So this is the famous movie from 1999, I believe, called Armageddon by Michael Bay.
And indeed, this is possible in theory, albeit suicidal in practice. Landing on any space body is a nightmare. Even on fairly big Mars, whose surface we know almost perfectly, roughly 70% of our attempts have failed.
Damn, I did not know it was that high. 70% of our landings on Mars has failed? That's kind of insane. Now, I want to know, are a lot of those failures more than likely our beginning missions to Mars? I would hope so. I would hope that now we're getting better and better at it.
So imagine the chances of landing a crew and a nuclear bomb on a small and extremely fast asteroid discovered just 2 weeks in advance. Even if we succeeded, drilling in microgravity is painfully slow since there's no downward pull to help you. So we'd need an agonizing amount of time that we don't have.
This video is reminding me how it's, man, what is his name? The actor that played in this movie. He's not doing too well. It's Bruce Willis. Yeah, Bruce Willis is not doing too good right now.
So sadly, that's not the answer. We have to think less like Hollywood and more like a lumberjack.
A lumberjack?
Smart way.
If we just start cutting it down with a giant axe, just send the biggest, buffest lumberjacks onto the asteroid and they just like, boom, go dwarf mode on this thing.
You want to split a log, you don't hit it with a rock. You use an axe, a dense and perfectly shaped tool designed to break things apart. And just in the same way, scientists have found a new tool to destroy asteroids.
You also got to hit it in the correct area as well. You got to know where to hit it at times. I mean, it depends on how exactly you're trying to chop the wood, of course, but...
Super dense, ultra-fast cosmic bullets. We won't even have to shoot them. Our cosmic bullets are called penetrators.
These like gamma rays. That's a whole nother aspect of not to terrify the crap out of you. I feel like Kurzgesagt should make a video about gamma rays because like a gamma ray burst would just evaporate us in an instant. I think the chances of that are incredibly low because I don't know if we've been gamma ray bursted. Well, probably in light levels, but like, you know, tiny levels, but...
A few meters long, slim and made of tungsten, a metal way denser and harder than rock. They work in an extremely simple way. You just put the penetrators in the way of the asteroid to float silently in space. From the perspective of the asteroid, you wouldn't see a few tiny bullets sitting still. You'd see them rushing at you at 70,000 kilometers an hour. It doesn't matter who stands still and who's fast. But this speed means that by far the longest part of this mission is to get to the asteroid in time. We can't destroy it too close to Earth because its fragments will slam into the atmosphere all at once with the power of thousands of nuclear bombs.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. Like I just said, when you study population density, when you study the globe, the way our makeup is with a lot of water, like the worst thing you could do is have multiple rocks hitting the Earth at the same time, because one of those rocks, it's just much higher likelihood that it's going to hit a population center. It's going to cause way more casualties.
Our atmosphere.
Unless we know for a fact, which I heard that actually astronomers have trouble knowing exactly where theoretically an asteroid would hit. I don't know if that's true or if that's still true, but I was really surprised to learn that like if we found an asteroid and if it was supposed to hit Earth, we don't know the exact location that it would hit Earth. And I'm guessing that's because we don't know the exact speed the asteroid is going at. We know it's moving at us, but we'd have to know like basically to the dot exactly how fast this thing is moving to be able to figure out exactly where on Earth it would land, on what city it would possibly land on.
It can absorb isolated chunks, but if thousands of them strike together, their shockwaves will add up and kill millions. So instead, we need to get it one day before impact, when the asteroid will be nearly 2 million kilometers away.
1 day? Exactly 1 day? Doesn't seem too bad.
More than 4 times further than the moon.
Honestly, like if we were just to, like even if we did break it up, we obviously do not want to break up the asteroid so it hits multiple spots on the Earth, but if we could break it up, like I would love to ask like an astronomer or someone that studies this information, like what if we could break it up and the majority of the rocks do fly out and don't hit Earth, but we do create like maybe half, like imagine half the asteroid, but that part splits up. Is it going to be worth it then? Would we have to make that decision? Like, do we just keep it all in one big ass rock form, or do we explode it, have at least half the matter miss Earth, but then the matter that does hit Earth is scattered? Like, what then?
A vast distance, but doable. Our current rockets can cover this in about a week. We'll just send one penetrator about 2 meters long and weighing 2.5 tons. Once our rocket arrives, it puts the penetrator in place to cause maximum damage, and then we wait. A tiny
Does it just sit there and wait for the thing to blast into it?
speck of light appears in the vast distance, and then suddenly it's here, shooting at us faster than the speed of sound.
Damn.
We'll slow down time to see exactly what happens.
How is it? So it just sits there in space, basically it kind of floats? What if it kind of just floats off? I mean, I guess ideally you'd place it there before it can float off. Like, you wouldn't give it enough time to be able to kind of float off and, the gravitational pull of our planet or the moon or whatever like that. But that's damn.
The
So
asteroid
you use the asteroid's velocity against itself.
crashes into the penetrator so fast and with so much violence that the power of 120 metric tons of TNT is released into the asteroid. The rock vaporizes and the tungsten melts away, carving a wound.
So this material is the perfect material. Have we studied enough? I'm guessing we have at this point, studied enough of what the vast majority of asteroids are made out of. Do we always kind of know them? I think it sounds like the video is presenting that typically speaking, the vast majority of asteroids are always made out of a certain type of material. So this penetrator, we know exactly what we need to put out. But what if we guess wrong? I think people can figure out, like, for instance, like comets, like we can kind of figure out asteroids and comets, like what the actual material is because of the way it's being burnt off, the way, like, the tones of color that's being burnt away from it. Isn't that how we can figure out exactly the elements that the asteroid has?
That tunnels through the asteroid. The damage is too much, and with all of this energy looking for a place to go, the asteroid is blasted into thousands of pieces. The debris spreads out into a diffuse cloud. A day later, the fragments hit Earth, dispersed over hundreds of thousands of square kilometers.
Probably our atmosphere saves us. It all burns up in the atmosphere.
And turning an apocalypse into a mostly harmless show of cosmic fireworks.
That would be beautiful.
So
imagine seeing the horror. Like, you see, it looks incredible. It probably looks beautiful, but you know that, wow, all of humanity almost just ended right now.
If we prepare and get everything ready, spotting a killer asteroid with 2 weeks' notice would be enough.
I don't know, man. Have we done this yet? We have not done this yet. We haven't tried this yet. I feel like NASA definitely needs to get on this, or one of the countries needs to just go out there and try it with something else. The only thing is, like, do you want to go out there and risk it? Like, if an asteroid wasn't initially supposed to hit Earth, and then you try to experiment with this, what if you mess up and it does end up doing a weird crash course to Earth? Like, I don't know. This is kind of one of those things where it's like, I'll believe it when I see it. I need way more evidence that we're going to be able to do this. But it makes sense theoretically. Just use the asteroid's velocity against itself.
But this was just a small asteroid. What if we face a cosmic mountain, a planet killer carrying the destructive power of tens of thousands of nuclear arsenals?
Literally Everest.
The non-avian dinosaurs would tell you about it, but they're dead.
No, it's the non-flying dinosaurs, basically.
What if it is
the planet killer? This one's a terrifying one. Asteroids hitting us is one thing, but the planet killer, that's going to be... See, I think that's a better point to make. Like I said earlier, like, look at the chances. Look at the, like, life-ending asteroids don't hit us very often. Like, millions of years. It takes millions of years. Those are like planet killer asteroids. Asteroids that are enough to just destroy cities, that's much more likely, and that's probably what we would come to see in the very future. If we were to try to experiment with this sort of penetrator thing, it would probably just to be like to save Paris or something like that, to save Berlin or something. I don't know.
planet killer? Planet killers are objects so vast and powerful that they would end most life on Earth in a single strike. The most dangerous ones are comets from the outer fringes of the solar system, so distant and dark that tracking them is impossible. Comets...
And it just comes straight in after us. Bam. You know something that I always think about whenever I review space, and I can't get it out of my mind? I saw an animation once, like, it acts like the solar system, most depictions of our solar system acts like we're just sitting there while, like, all these little marbles, the planets, are orbiting the sun. But in reality, we are orbiting the sun, but the sun is also flying through space at the very same time. And it's actually like this, like, and it's just, yeah, you can watch animations about it, but it's like we're sitting ducks. We are technically moving too, which I'm sure complicates it a little bit to find these asteroids, these planet-killing asteroids.
Are dirty ice balls the size of mountains, more fragile than pure rock, but also much faster and violent, traveling at around 140,000 kilometers per hour.
Faster
in
is the problem.
2020, The comet Neowise, with the power of 6,000 times all the nuclear bombs on Earth, was discovered just 4 months before its closest approach to Earth.
6,000 times all the nuclear bombs on Earth. And this is after denuclearization, you know what I mean? Like, so it probably wouldn't be 6,000 times in like the 1970s. I think when did we start denuclearizing? But so it'd probably be a little bit less than that, but probably not that much less because we have only denuclearized like a couple thousand bombs. But regardless, yes, we already at this current day control enough nukes to destroy the planet. So 6,000 times is going to. We are going to literally not exist anymore. Everyone's going to even forget. We're not even going to be a pebble after this.
Discovered just 4 months before its closest approach to Earth. What if we find such a beast 6 months before it's going to crash into us? Do we have a...
We better pray that we can even find it 6 months before, because I don't even know. 6 months, that's going to be scary. I'm sure NASA and all the different space organizations have some sort of backup plan, but, oh man, that would certainly be a way to lower the tensions between nations and peoples and things like that, all having to work together to save the planet.
Chance of surviving this? Unfortunately,
I feel like there'd be a lot of people that would also, like SpaceX, would just focus on getting as many people to Mars, even though we're so not ready, and there'd be so many people that die. I mean, I don't really know. Would we get, like, I don't even think that we would try to get thousands of people on Mars, but we would try to get at least a colony on Mars right now.
This would be extremely hard for a bunch of reasons. First of all, our planet-killer comet has so much more mass than a tiny killer asteroid that simply breaking it into millions of pieces would not help us that much.
Would it stay together too? Like, wouldn't all the debris, isn't it possible that some of the debris stays, like a lot of the debris gets blown off, but some of it, because it's just so big in mass, the gravitational pull, I'm not sure if the gravitational pull would change that at all. What city is this? The Amazon rainforest?
The chunks that hit Earth would still be massive and numerous enough to set the sky ablaze and kill most life on Earth.
Dang, rip cow.
So we need to make most, if not all of its fragments completely miss Earth. But to do that, we need to destroy it much.
Yeah, so we have to get it earlier, because even if like a small fraction of this comet were to still hit us with all its debris, like it's gonna mess us up.
Further away, as far away as Mars. And to destroy a mountain, we need way more penetrators.
I was going to say just a single one I could see doing literally nothing. We saw the one do pretty good in that previous animation against a much smaller asteroid, but yeah, how many can we even make of these? We also would need to we would need the entire world to agree on a singular plan, and that's terrifying. I mean, maybe not the entire world, but all the world with the bigger space stations. So you're looking at the US, Russia, China, India, Japan, the EU. It'd be scary to all come to one to get, like if we decided to go with this plan, we all got to agree to make like 5,000 of these penetrators.
Hundreds of thousands. And this is, well, a huge problem. To travel this far and to transport this much payload, we need at least 24,000 super heavy rockets. As of today, humanity has 2. And they're not really finished yet. Even if all the industries in the world do nothing but switch to building rockets, we wouldn't finish in time.
Yeah, it's scary. We do not have enough time. We better hope that we find it like 5 years in advance, 10 years in advance, 30 years in advance. Like, I know that we do discover asteroids like that. Like, I remember being like a kid in like 2006 or 7, learning about the asteroid in 2009. Learning about the asteroid in 2029. So 23 years into the future, that's going to come very, very close to Earth. It's like the size of... Is it the size of Texas? No, because that would destroy Earth. It's the size of a city. But it's supposed to come back. Now we know it as the 3036 asteroid, because we were able to confirm that the asteroid, when it passes by us in 2029, will not hit us. Back when I first found out about it, like I said, I think it was like 2006, we thought that it could hit us. We eventually revised that. We know that it will not, but it all depends on how it passes us in 2029, if it will come back in 3036 to ricochet and kind of, hit us again.
If we actually discovered a planet killer today...
But that's good news, because we found that thing 23 years in advance. So we do find massive rocks flying in space that could potentially hit us pretty early. And remember, this is from... back in the day, this is from 20 years ago, so I'm hoping the technology has gotten even better.
There's literally nothing we could do about it, except maybe if we combine penetrators with a bit of Hollywood and our old friend the nuclear bomb, there is still a way.
Oh, the nukes? Oh, we're not going to throw out the nukes? Hell yeah.
For this plan to work, we basically need to have all the parts ready beforehand. A rocket like NASA's SLS, the one planned to take astronauts to the moon, loaded up with everything we need, ready to launch.
I think NASA probably has a backup plan and maybe some of the materials ready. I mean, probably not enough, but something. I think a lot of the different places around Earth have got to have some sort of plan.
As soon as the planet killer is spotted on its way to wipe us out, we launch a single rocket to meet it. For 5 long months, it travels through the nothingness of space as life on Earth nervously continues. Finally...
Oh, so if we get there far enough, we can use a nuke? Because if we get there really, really early, like this looks like it's about to pass by Jupiter, and then use our nuclear bombs, like all of it, that'd be quite the movie. Everyone's got to give up their nuclear material and bombs to one singular rocket so we can send it out into space and destroy. I guess we can always build more nukes, but yeah.
It reaches its destination a bit beyond the orbit of Mars.
Into the future.
Now, we deploy 5
Oh, that was just Mars, wow.
massive penetrators in sequence.
It's probably safer to not try to have our rockets go around the asteroid belt, just in case.
One perfectly lined up 2 kilometers after the other. The engineering challenge of aligning and timing this correctly is horrendous, and we only have one attempt. So, a few very brave astronauts go on this one-way trip to supervise the process with no way home.
Yeah, come on. We gotta make Dude, it kind of bothers me the way that, like, do you know how many people are right now willing to sign up to be the first ones to go to Mars, and they don't care if they die? Like, you know, I'm not saying that we should be doing that, even though people want to do that, but it's like, dang, just, you know, there's plenty of people that are willing to sacrifice themselves. The problem is, are these people gonna know what the hell to do? They've got to be very, very, very smart people. We literally have to be willing to lose some of our best and brightest human beings that currently live on Earth, because they're gonna have to be extremely intelligent people.
Nervous hours pass as all of humanity watches the skies and screens. And then the moment comes. The icy mountain of death appears in full, and then it's already here.
And they just make sure they steer
Slow
correctly.
down time again. The comet smashes into the first penetrator at 140,000 kilometers an hour, unleashing the power of 2,000 tons of TNT.
And then we have a
Ice,
nuke.
rock, and tungsten liquefy in an instant as the energy of the impact eats itself dozens of meters deep into the mountain. Here's the second one, perfectly hitting the same spot, punching directly into the
so
crater,
it's-
smashing, melting, drilling. The third and fourth penetrators repeat the process again, now smashing a tunnel about 100 meters deep.
That's
But
crazy.
this time,
this is some Star Trek sci-fi. This is so crazy stuff right here.
this is just a scratch on the surface of the monster. The
Does
comet
it
is
keep
not
going?
really damaged yet. And then comes the final penetrator and its toxic load. 300 megatons in nuclear warheads, 20,000 times more energy than the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. It travels deep into the tunnel, and just before it hits the end, it explodes. This time, the nuke works. Instead of hitting nothing in
That's
the
crazy. Wait, are we gonna have people inside of those penetrators, or where do the people die at? I was just thinking, like, there's, like, you know, your homies in the first penetrator, boom, dead. I think it would all happen in an instant, so it's hard to even know. But I was gonna say that'd be crazy. Like, oh damn, Bob's dead. Oh damn, Jeff, they got Jeff. Oh dang, I'm next. Like, it just keeps going down the line, obviously.
vacuum, the energy of the explosion smashes into rock and gravel and ice. On top of vaporizing it from the inside, there's so much shock and push and punch that a frozen world billions of years old dies from within, turning into a cloud of millions of fragments spreading in all directions. Humanity is saved. To make this happen in reality would take unprecedented planning and precision.
Absolutely.
And yet, it's possible.
Worldwide
Not in a
effort.
century with sci-fi technology, just with the rockets, engineering, and knowledge we already have today.
I gotta be real. A lot of this feels, you know, not to be a Debbie Downer, but I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta do a lot more experiments on this stuff. I feel like this sound. I mean, I'm not denying that we don't currently have the resources right now and the ability to do this. But the fact that, you know, this would actually work, I feel like those percentages are very, very low. But you know, also, well, let's see.
To drill some asteroids yourself? Our first ever PC game, Starbirds, is out now.
The game's
in
all
early
about
access. Join a brave flock of intergalactic birds as they venture into space to mine asteroids, build production chains, and unlock new technologies that will help them thrive across the galaxy.
You gather around getting different resources and things like that.
Scan
It's
and
kind of a
claim
puzzle
nearby
game.
asteroids, build up your
Damn!
production
Okay, I did not get that far. I didn't get to the point where it's that huge.
lines and create a sprawling network of floating space factories. Whether you're a seasoned strategy player or completely new to the genre, Starbirds welcomes you to explore, build, and discover at your own pace. We've been working on this game for over 2 years to get
I love that it's like the Kurzgesagt animations as well. Like it feels literally like a YouTube video. The video game itself. It made me wonder, like, wow, how did they not make a video game so much earlier? I mean, I've known this channel for like 10 plus years now.
together with the amazing team at Tucana Interactive, the creators of Dorfromantic. And now we're incredibly excited to finally share it with you. So grab your space helmet and head over to Steam to start your adventure. You'll find the link in the description. From all of us at
Hell yeah.
Kurzgesagt and Tucana, thank you for being part of this journey. We can't wait to hear what you think and to keep building Starbirds together with your feedback. See you in space.
I actually didn't even know that it's always birds that Kurzgesagt is always showing. I know the green bird, the famous green bird, but yeah, it's always birds. Anyways, back to the topic of the video. I just wanted to say, for whenever I used to watch these videos, I used to be so terrified. I don't think there's a reason to be too terrified. Like I said, the chances are just so low that this stuff ever happens, first of all, in our lifetime, but even like into the future. Again, like I said, what are the chances that right when humans started exploring with space and actually sending aircraft and human beings out into space, that we just now finally see the planet-ending asteroid or the planet-ending comet that we have to save our globe? I think that's very unlikely. Now, an asteroid that comes in and destroys a city, much more likely. That's a lot more likely. I think that definitely needs to be a threat. I hope that we can figure out exactly. I hope that we get better at figuring out where a specific city-ending asteroid is going to hit. But like I said at the very beginning, maybe AI can help us. Maybe sending AI to be able to monitor all these different moving objects in the solar system, because it is not easy. So across space and time, in the year 2025, a glorified spear is still the supreme weapon, just in space. Noted. Yeah, do not forget, historically, a long pointy stick, way better than a sword, way better than pretty much anything we've ever made. Just put a knife at the edge of a long stick and sit back there and stab. That is a theme across the universe. Those things are always pretty amazing. Average Kurzgesagt video. There's a high chance that you will die. There is no hope. Luckily, science has a solution. And that Armageddon reference is gold. We have to talk about Armageddon. We need 24K super heavy rockets. We only have 2. Yeah, I feel like a lot of his videos tend to be pretty pessimistic, but I don't know. The more I've grown up, I'm just kind of like, meh, it's probably going to be fine. This is very, very unlikely. I mean, obviously, this YouTube channel has been making videos just like this about this same subject for probably once a year for a decade or plus now. So, and everything's been okay so far. And the further, if we just get lucky, human beings just got to get lucky. We got to get another maybe 25 years into the future, and by then we'll have better technology, better knowledge on how to be able to push asteroids out of our way so we don't all die a fiery death. Again, that video was by Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Please go subscribe, and also don't forget their video game that I reviewed over on my gaming channel, Drew Woo. Please go subscribe over there if you would like to see a part 2 over there. Big thanks to my patrons this month. If you want your name here, check that Patreon link in the description down below. Never change Drew unless you want to. We need a Drew bobblehead figurine. Petition for Drew
Alexander
to
the
make
Terrible,
Hoy 4 ASMR
Connor
Tingles
Pavlik,
version 2.
Frederick Tiblin,
King Bear Hayes,
Lord Track,
Luxembourg Lover,
Miglu the Goat,
Nolan, Nord Tyrol,
Tamron,
and William.